Okay, everybody, it is Tuesday, October 15th, 2019, and wouldn't you know it, stock futures are higher across the board. The risk-on trade is in full swing. However, hold that thought. Okay, so stock futures are higher across the board. Metals and cryptocurrencies are under a little bit of pressure. Now, when I told you to hold that thought, this is what I want you to think about. And it's a big one. It's important. Crude oil right now is hovering around $53 a barrel. It's not enough. It's not high enough to push this stock market meaningfully higher. I'm not saying we're not going to get big swings here or there, but the fact remains, and you know this if you follow this blog, they must find a way, and they will, to push crude oil higher, and that will carry the entire energy sector higher and the financial sector higher, which will pull the whole market with it. Now, we're getting some earnings from banks, JP Morgan, windfall profits. A couple of the other banks are mixed right now. This should not be a surprise to you either. I can promise you that banks are going to continue to reap massive profits moving forward as they are being recapitalized by the Federal Reserve, as they can borrow cash from the Fed for near zero, soon to be negative, meaning these institutions are going to be paid by the Federal Reserve to lend out cash, which they will charge exorbitant fees for. So the banks will win. Remember, these banks run the Fed. They cannot lose. But again, going back to what I said, yes, stock futures are higher right now, but I am fearful of what they will do next. We already know they engineered a new war here in the Middle East, Turkey and Syria. There's all this rhetoric about sanctions and this, that, and the other thing. You're trying to tell me that our president didn't realize what was going to happen? Anyone who has followed the Middle East, even for an hour, understanding how the dynamics work over there, knew that if we were going to pull troops out of Syria, Turkey was going to attack. They've been threatening to do this for years. So if anyone believes this was just by coincidence that we pull troops out and Turkey starts hammering Syria, you have no idea of what you're talking about. And our president knew this would occur. I'm not saying that he was told what to do. The president is a mouthpiece for the military-industrial complex, and that did work to prop up crude. Then they hit a tanker. That propped up crude. Now crude came back down. Why? Because we are in a global slowdown, including the United States. The demand is falling off of a cliff, along with manufacturing, the service sector, and everything else connected to it. But a false flag event is going to occur. It could be at any moment, and it's probably going to be an extreme one or a big one. They need to put a bottom under crude. They need crude higher. Crude is the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex, and it feeds the stock market, period. If they don't do it, if they don't manage to do it, and they will, stocks will go nowhere. And you know for a fact that the president wants stocks higher. The military-industrial complex demands that stocks will go higher. Period. This is how they rape everyone. This is how they rape you. They load debt on your back every day. And this is unbelievable what we're seeing right now with debts and deficits exploding like we've never seen. Way worse than under the last guy. But that's okay. You're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to think our economy is booming. Henceforth, we are in QE6. Henceforth, why banks are being recapitalized. Henceforth, why the Federal Reserve is involved in this repo scam indefinitely now. Buying short-term, very short-term, referring to the federal funds rate, medium-term, long-term debt. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. But this is the environment we are in, and it is absolutely risk on. It remains risk on. And watch crude oil. I'm telling you, I put a chart on my website for you. I even removed the bond market chart because the bond market is absolutely fake. with the Federal Reserve in QE6 mode, full-blown QE6. We cannot make heads or tails of it anymore. Doesn't matter. It's absolutely out there. Follow crude oil. It's more important. If you go to my website, traderschoice.net, right underneath the chat room, it's right there. You can follow crude oil, and you'll have a very good handle on where stocks are going to go. But it's pretty simple. Look, I can promise you, they're not going to allow stocks to fall. So forget about looking for a stock market meltdown, a stock market crash. It ain't happening. Not happening right now. We have a managed communist market, a managed communist economy. This is where we are at. Wake up if you don't believe that's what's going on. All right, look. Let's see how this day plays out. Epic. Please share this video. I'll see you at the end of the day. And that's going to be epic too.